Nom Nom delivers fresh food with whole ingredients backed by veterinarian science. Science tells us that a dog's health starts in the bowl, so improving their diet is one of the best ways to help them live a long and happy life. Nom Nom's food is full of proteins your dog loves and the vitamins and nutrients they need to thrive. All you have to do is order, pour, and serve. Ready to make the switch to fresh? Order Nom Nom today. Go to https://trynom.com/curveball and get 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's https://trynom.com/curveball. Plus, Nom Nom comes with a money-back guarantee. If your dog's tail isn't wagging within 30 days, Nom Nom will refund your first order. No fillers, no nonsense, just Nom Nom. Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Hello and welcome to another episode of Living the Dream with Curveball. I am your host, Curveball, and today I am joined by Matt Burke. He is the founder of Magic Minds Foundation, as well as the Magic Minds podcast. Matt, thank you so much for joining me today.
Lovely to join you, Curtis. Thanks very much for inviting me onto your show. It's a privilege to be connected from here in Ireland all the way over to the States. I'm honored.
Absolutely. From Ireland to the United States. Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit of background about yourself, where you're from, and anything else that you would like the audience to know?
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm from a place in Dublin called the Liberties. It's a working class area. It's an absolutely fantastic place. I live not so far away from the Guinness Hop Store, maybe 30 seconds walk. So it's a beautiful area. There does be a lot of tourists, unfortunately not at the moment because of the whole COVID situation. As you kindly says, I'm the host of the Magic Minds podcast and creator of the Magic Minds Foundation. Stories to have the power to inspire. Yet, like yourself, I'm a fellow podcaster, but I also work in a hospital. I work in brain injury rehabilitation, where I work with adults with acquired brain injury. So that's what I do outside 9 to 5. But outside that, then I'm all running everything Magic Minds podcast and the foundation. So that's where I'm up to at the moment.
Well, let's talk about your foundation. What made you get started with your foundation and talk about all that your foundation does for the community?
Yeah, look, the Magic Minds Foundation is the name of the company, but the work we do is we record interviews with people that have inspirational stories. I started that in 2017/18. I just had an idea that I wanted to really get out there and interview people, but I also work in a hospital where I'm exposed to, people that have traumatic brain injury, but have amazing stories. Their journey is incredible. And I'm also lucky enough to work with some amazing healthcare professionals, such as psychiatrists, psychotherapists, some really, really interesting people, interesting stories. Not only do they inspire me, the patients inspire me. And I come from a background with no education, so I want to bring those inspiration stories back to my community. I've had difficulties myself in life, and I went back and retrained and re-educated. So any opportunity I get, I try to bring that education back to my community so people can understand that it's accessible to them too. Just like mental health, I didn't know that there was a whole new world out there of, being able to heal yourself. So anything I do is always in service of my community or people like me. And when I say community, I don't just mean geographical, Curtis. I mean male, female, any human being, anyone that connects me around the world can be in my community. If you're a fellow struggler or not, or a family member of a fellow struggler, and you can hear the story of the Magic Minds podcast, hopefully that'll spur you or your family to heal yourself through love, kindness, compassion, understanding, and forgiveness, you know?
Absolutely. What kind of projects does Magic Minds have coming up? You guys got any books, any speaking engagements? What kind of things do you guys have coming up in 2021?
Well, I just released a book. Excuse me. I just released a book there the other day. Well, it's book/journal, but most of all, it's a mental health toolkit. It's called My Head to My Heart. And it's a book, Curtis, that illustrates how I've moved from my head to my heart using creativity, love, kindness, compassion, understanding, and forgiveness and gratitude. But it also has poetry as well, you know. So it's a collection of all my thoughts, feelings, emotions, and then all my poetry I wrote over the last number of years. And then also tools and tips and pieces to help people mind their little self, you know, that may be struggling with mental health or want to, you know, practice mindfulness, meditation, or just being present. So that just came out the other day. It's getting lots of reviews from people. People are really liking it. It's very timely around this time, you know, with the whole COVID situation. Because to be honest, Curtis, I've had, you know, what I would say COVID all my life. To me, COVID is just another opportunity to be fearful, to be anxious, to have dread and worry. You know, it's like the Scooby-Doo character. You know, COVID is just wearing a different mask than, you know, than cancer, HIV, dementia, coronary heart disease. Again, it's just fear-provoking. You know, not being disrespectful or minimizing the concern that people should have, but it does invoke fear and terror into people. And I've had that all my life, being a struggle or of anxiety, depression, mental health problems. So when COVID came along, that's what I saw. It's another opportunity to be worried about something. And I think, like anything, like coronary heart disease or cancer or anything, you have to protect yourself, but it does create panic in people. And so when it came to the Magic Minds podcast, we really stepped up around that time. And then actually we start working on the book. And, you know, I have a couple of programs called Mind Your Little Self, a 6-week program. And I also have a program called Next Level, which is the next one after Mind Your Little Self. It's called Clarity and Success, because it's usually always when we have clarity that we tend to find success, you know?
Absolutely. I do know. Now talk about that Magic Mind podcast. Kind of, you know, tell us where we can check it out and kind of what it's about, how long it's been going, and what's the future for the Magic Mind podcast.
Yeah, the Magic Minds podcast, you know, it started in 2017 /18, as I said, Curtis. And I say it was just an idea to go out and interview people, but little did I know I was on a journey of finding a platform where I could use creativity to heal myself and tell my story. I probably was a little bit afraid to tell my story, but it just happened by coincidence or divine timing, let's say. And you know, as I was interviewing all these powerful people, I decided, you know, to get some coverage, I'll start putting out videos, giving my thoughts, answering questions from people. And then, you know, it would really hit home to people in my community. You know, I'd be talking about mental health or my insecurities or my vulnerability. And as I say, people in my community reach out to me and be inspired, you know, fellow men and women of all ages from 0 to 90 would reach out and say I inspired them, that I keep it real. So although the podcast has brought great healing and inspiration to my community, it's helped me also heal and inspire other people. So it was nearly like a two-way street. We've probably now, I think, released about 92 interviews, and I've done over a couple of, maybe 100 and something that we haven't released yet, or we've done other ones online, other on social media like Facebook. But yeah, it's just growing. It's growing across the world, and you know, and it's all in service of people healing. And that's my message, Curtis, is, I want to inspire you, the listeners, to heal yourself through love, kindness, compassion. And it's basically just holding a mirror up to people and say, you too can heal yourself. Because when you're going through struggles and difficulties in your mind, it's hard to see beyond that. And if we can show you that I can through or we can through, it's a positive message, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. And is there a podcast on all podcast platforms, or how can listeners listen to it?
Yeah, we're on, Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Anchor FM, Podbean, we're across all the way. We've got a YouTube channel, Magic Minds YouTube. We're on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, LinkedIn. We're across all those platforms. We're quite active and we've got a good following. And the one thing, Curtis, that I've learned over the 3 years that I've been doing this, everyone has a different story, but we're all have the same feelings. We might have different stories, but we go through the same struggles and grief and stress, and and if we can show people, through our work that we're all so similar, and that's the one thing I think COVID situation has shown me. It doesn't matter whether you have $1 million in the bank or you have 20 cents in the bank. We can still have the same worries and panic and death anxiety and how similar all us human beings are if we just listen out and watch out for each other and be kind.
Yes. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you would like to touch on?
Tell me a little bit about yourself, Curtis. Tell us a little bit about you and the work you're doing over there.
Well, as far as me, I just graduated from broadcasting school here in July with academic excellence. I do internet radio as well as podcasting. I just started this podcast 3 months ago, and basically what I do on this podcast is I interview guests that can motivate and inspire, because you never know when a word of encouragement might save somebody's life. It might encourage them to do something that they were scared to do, or it might bring them to new heights. So I'm just basically trying to get out there, get my brand out there, get my following through my radio shows as well as my podcast. I want to motivate and inspire. And that's a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Brilliant. I absolutely love your voice. You've got an amazing voice for radio. It's sweet and it's very soulful. And you too inspire me, because I know, are you partially sighted or are you completely blind?
I am totally blind. I've been totally blind since birth due to congenital glaucoma.
And, wow, that's inspirational. I work with, as I say, I work in brain injury rehab, and I work with somebody that's he's had a brain injury, and he's also he was partially blind, but now he's gone fully blind now. And that in itself is inspiring. That the resilience and the will to keep on going, and the problem solving, and the sure determination. It's just fantastic. Just you doing this interview with me, it's brilliant. It's absolutely, I'm inspired by fellow podcasters, but you doing this is brilliant too. So I appreciate that.
Well, let me ask, how is the blind services in Ireland? Do you guys have any training centers, or how does the public react to blind people there? Are things accessible for them, or do you know?
Yeah, we have the National Council for the Blind, NC, and the National, I can't think of it, there's a couple of letters for it. We have that, and they're an absolutely great service. I'm in the National Rehabilitation Hospital, and we've linked in with those guys, and they're absolutely brilliant. They come out to our place to teach us, to give us some training around when we had this young man on our service, like how do we support him, because we've never worked with somebody blind, because we're just specifically brain injury. We had a brain injury, and the blindness. So it was fantastic for us to learn with someone. It was really an eye opener for me to work with somebody. Because we work, as I say, with the brain. We've never worked with something like that, so we want to help them, but then they also want to have their independence. And yeah, it was fantastic. I done an interview, Curtis, with a guy called Oren O'Neill. He works in a radio station. I must link you in with him. He works in a radio station, and he has a podcast himself, actually. And he came on mine, and he was talking to us about the difficulty he's had in Ireland due to the COVID. You know, as you know, Curtis, a lot of the stuff, you know, you touch with your hands because you can't see, so then you're exposed to, you know, the elements that may be contaminated with COVID. You know, you have to touch lights, and you have to hold handrails, and it was a difficult experience. And then people trying to help you, so there was no social distancing. Then, you know, he's getting onto buses, and you know, it was a scary time. How was that for you, actually, around that time?
I mean, I just been normal as possible. I'm pretty much a social distancing type of person anyway. I mean, I don't really like crowds because I like to
uh,
hear what's going on, you know, and
right.
I go where I need to go and I do what I need to do, and that's pretty much it. So I just, you know, do what I have to do. I feel like it's in God's hands. If God means for me to get it, then I will. If he means for me to survive it, I will. So I just trust in him and just keep going as best as I can.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal attitude, Curtis. I love it. Uh, do you have a deep spiritual practice? Are you practicing? Are you a Christian, or what's your back? If you don't mind me asking.
Yes, I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And there's always going to be something out there. But if you let this stuff beat you down, it will. And once you become depressed, your immune system's going to go down. So you have a better chance of the virus getting you. And sometimes it get stressful, but you just have to lean on God for him to pick you up when you're down, but because you can't just be down. I mean, you got to do what you have to do. We all know where this is headed, but we just got to keep going and doing what we have to do until it's over.
Yeah, and that's in Curtis. That's fantastic. I have a similar attitude to yourself. You know, I believe in God. I'm probably not a practicing Christian, although I was baptized and christened as a Christian. I probably wouldn't practice Catholicism, but I'm a huge believer of God, and God being in our heart as in love and the universe. And my attitude to life is, you know, your mind and your body will believe whatever you tell it and put into it, you know. And I've got a strong faith that I will be okay and all will be okay. And if I'm due to go or get sick, it will happen, but I just don't believe it to be, because I believe that all will be well. And that's probably why I show up and turn up with the whole situation, to show people that, you know, if you believe in yourself and you feed your mind the right thoughts, feelings, and emotions, it will believe. Our brain is subjective; it's not objective. It'll believe whatever we tell it, and if we tell it we're going to be okay, and God is good, and He'll mind us, and love is in our heart, it'll soak that up, won't it?
Absolutely. And that's one reason why I started my podcast, like I say, to give people words of encouragement and have different type of people on. Let people hear these stories and be motivated and inspired by them. And if they go ahead and check out your podcast, they're going to be motivated and inspired as well.
Yeah, you remind me of I done an interview with a guy just a few weeks ago, Jeff Thompson. He's a BAFTA winning award writer. He done the foreword for my book, and he is just a vessel for love from God. You know, you should check out some of his work. He's a phenomenal human being. But you seem very like him. You know, you seem to be a vessel for God and love and connection, and it's very inspiring. It's absolutely fantastic to actually get the chance to talk to you. I feel privileged.
Oh, well, I definitely appreciate you coming on. Anything else that you want to say, you know, before we close it out and head to the bullpen?
No, I'm good. I would just encourage people to be kind, practice kindness, compassion, and understanding for yourself. And when you do that, you're a better human being for your family, your community, and the universe. When you're kind to you, you're kind to the world. You just see the world through a kinder more compassionate prism, you know. Yeah, that's it. And thanks very much for the opportunity to come on your show. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. And listeners, remember, be kind to someone today. Matt, thank you so much for joining me.
Curtis Jackson, thanks very much. I'm honored. God bless you to you all.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.